Good afternoon, kids. My name is Mike Schultz. I am the superintendent of the Altus Southwest Research Station, south of Altus, where we primarily do cotton research for the state of Oklahoma. Although that research is done other places, this is the primary place where it happens. As y'all know, cotton is one of the primary crops that we grow in Jackson County, both irrigated and dry land, both very important for our economy. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to take you from last year's harvest to this last spring's planting and through the growth stages of the plant. So at the end of the year, when we get done harvesting cotton, we take it to the gin, and that cotton goes through the gin. One of the things that comes out is cotton seed, and this is cotton seed. It still has the lint on it. It's still pretty fuzzy. It wants to kind of hang together in a ball. That's gin to cotton seed, which is one of the products that we get out of the gin, as well as the lint and some other things. So after that seed is ginned, then it goes through a delinting process, and we get all of that lint off of it, put some seed treatments on it, and it kind of slicks up a little bit. And we do that so it'll flow through our planters. We put a little seed treatment on there to protect those young seedlings from diseases with fungicides and some other products. Just like everything else, a young cotton seed likes to get sick, so the more protection we can give it while it's little, the better off we are. We'll start planting cotton about the first week of May and plant all the way till about the middle of June. We like to have our irrigated cotton planted by the 15th of April, the 15th of May, and then sometime between the 15th of May and the 15th of June, we'll plant our dryland crop. When we plant this seed, we're putting it in the ground about that deep, putting it in the ground about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. You want it just deep enough where it's in good moisture, but not so deep that that little seedling, as it's pushing up, can't find its way up out of the ground. So after the plant is up, it starts growing. It takes about 6 weeks, and at the 6-week point, we can go out there and start finding what we think is the first fruit, what we call a square. Now, don't ask me why it's called a square, because it's shaped like a triangle. And cotton is different than other crop plants that we grow, because other crop plants that we grow, such as wheat, we plant, it grows for a certain amount of time, and either then, because the weather is warming up or cooling down, or the daylight is getting longer or shorter, that plant goes from what we call vegetative growth into reproductive growth, and it's going to make seed. That's what we call an annual plant. You plant it every year, and then it grows to a point, it dies, matures, and makes seed. Cotton is a perennial plant. Cotton is a tree. It wants to keep growing for as long as everything's good. So unlike wheat that grows to a point, puts a head out, makes seed, cotton will start making fruit, and it will keep doing that for a 4 to 6 week cycle until we start cooling off in the fall. So the first thing that we look for is a square, and if you pull that square apart, what you see is inside is the start of a bloom. And then to give that bloom a couple of days, and all of a sudden it comes out and looks like this, which is a nice yellow bloom. It will bloom yellow the first day. As that day ends, you'll see those yellow blooms start to close up, and they'll actually start to have a little color change late in the afternoon. And tomorrow, that same bloom will open up and be pink or be red. And so it blooms yellow the first day, pink or red the second day. The third day, if you walk out and look at that same bloom, it'll look like that. You'll see the bloom start to dry up, and if you pull that apart and pull that bloom off the plant, you'll see what's starting in the formation of a little bulb right there, and that's the start of the actual production of growing that bulb. Now, I told you that cotton was a perennial plant, and it doesn't just produce everything all at one time. It does it in stages and in segments. And as you look out on this branch, you notice there's 1, 2, 3 bowls of bloom, and if you look right in there, there's a little bitty square. Well, ideally, each of these are 3 days apart in age. This bowl is 3 days younger than this bowl. This bowl is 3 days younger, and so forth as you go out the branch. Also, as you go out on this branch and you notice as it's setting fruit out, you notice that each one of these nodes that has a bowl, each one of those has its own leaf as well. and that leaf is primarily responsible for filling that bowl or feeding that bowl while it's developing. Also, as you look at the base of the branch, there's also a leaf that's dedicated to that branch, and that leaf then is also primarily responsible for feeding the branch as it goes. So as this bowl continues to develop, and essentially what we're doing inside of here is we're growing the cottonseed. And as we grow the cottonseed, the plant is wrapping that seed into fiber to protect the seed. So we're technically trying to grow seed, even though what we're ultimately after is the fiber. This is about the middle of September. Our cotton is starting to mature. It's starting to get ready for harvest. And if we come back, we're starting to see a few of the open bolls. We come back here in about 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have more of these bolls that are open. And as you pull this boll apart and you start separating the lint, you start finding the seed that's inside of it. So hopefully, you know, in about a 6 to 8 week period, you go from the little square to the bloom, yellow the first day, pink the second, to a boll, to ultimately the open boll is what we're looking for at the end of the season. We will probably start defoliating cotton in the next couple of weeks whenever the crop is mature. We've got good mature bolls out there, which means their seeds are mature inside, the lint's mature, and it's time to open them up for harvest, and we'll probably start that process within the next couple of weeks. We got us from the seed to the plant to setting fruit to a mature boll. In a couple of weeks, we'll come back out and do this again when we have good open bolls and we're ready to harvest. And we'll talk about the harvesting and the ginning of cotton at that time and what we do with it after we get it off the stalk and get it to a point it can start being made into a pair of blue jeans. See you in a few weeks.